Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 88 of Active Reload.
88?
88. It is a one-topic kind of week. We got some other minor stuff that we'll maybe touch on just a little bit, just because it's on the top of our heads. But Marathon, that was the big thing this week. It showed off itself. They had an 80-minute live presentation. They're really getting way too fond of themselves with their doing 80-minute presentations. I'll be honest with you. Don't need that.
Yeah, that might be a running theme.
Don't need
real fond of themselves.
We need
these
to,
game
we need
developers.
to stop doing that. Let's just drop the trailer. We don't need people talking about it for 80 minutes. That's way too much.
I kind of liked it. I like seeing content before I make a decision.
But we'll get into it.
Opinion.
Marathon. That was the big thing. We'll talk about some other minor stuff. Oblivion had more stuff leaked.
Screenshots.
Yeah, I mean, we'll maybe touch on that just a little bit. So yeah, let's get into the freaking show.
Boom.
So Marathon, it is a big what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a remaster, it's a reinvention of Marathon, the classic
soft
first
reboot.
Person, first person. Was it a shooter?
Yeah.
In the original days?
Yeah.
It was when it was a Mac game. The original had the bones of Halo inside of it.
Yeah, it sure did.
Led to what would later become Halo from Bungie. And now they're like, we're going to go back. We're going to make Marathon again. And here is the reveal. Doesn't look anything like Marathon.
No aliens is
there's no aliens. There's maybe some AI, I guess, is kind of the idea too, because that was part of what Marathon was.
It's very transhumanist.
Yeah. It's odd.
Which is like, I don't know. It's very popular these days, but no one does it better than Ghost in the Shell. So maybe it's like Ghost in the Shell, but like 400 years in the future.
That's a good shout. That's probably the most of what it reminds me of visually anyways, is Ghost in the Shell. It looks very Ghost in the Shell.
Man, imagine if Ghost in the Shell made an extraction shooter. That'd be awesome.
Well, guess what? Wait no longer. Marathon is here. So they did their big reveal. It was 80 minutes long. It was a big 80-minute presentation. We had you want to know why I don't like these? These 80-minute long things.
Talking about the presentation?
Yeah. I'm okay for the most part with like some of that stuff in there. But when you just have like, a large portion of it where they're just talking to developers after showing a gameplay trailer, I'm like, I don't need this. Can you imagine if they made a movie came out and they were like, we're going to talk to the director, the producer, the camera op, and whatever else, and that's going to be most of the live stream after the trailer has been shown?
Because I'll tell you why. Because gamers consume a lot of games media, and they want to hear from the artists and the
but I don't think
developers. You know what I don't want to hear from? Community managers. That's the last person I want to hear from. You know why? Because they're usually crappy at their job.
Well, I mean, that's who we're going to hear the most from anyways, because they're usually controlling
they're talking to the community.
But they're the Twitter account user, or they're the whatever user, like they have all the accounts.
They're the ones saying like, if you don't like our stuff, then don't buy it. It's not made for you.
I agree, because one of the things that came from Marathon, this was after the release of the gameplay trailer and everything like that, and people were questioning the price tag on it, because there's not a price out yet or anything like that.
Well, wait, first of all, we should explain what it is.
What it is.
It's an extraction shooter, which is...
it's a genre.
Here, I like how you wrote it.
Yeah.
It's a team of 3 on a big map, all fighting NPCs and
AI.
each other, looking for loot, valuable loot. You have one life to live. I think you can be revived by your teammates.
Yeah, you can.
You can be downed by an enemy and then lifted up by your teammates, and then you can be killed by an enemy and then completely revived, but on the spot. And then you extract with the loot you found. The fun factor revolves around how rewarding it is to extract and then go back. The risk reward. If there is no reward, there's no reason to go back.
You're essentially gambling.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
It's gameplay gambling.
You're going in, gambling this that you've brought in that you extracted before. You're bringing in this rifle that you extracted with before, and now going back in with it. And if you die, you lose it forever.
Yeah. Ever heard of this before? Throughout this entire presentation, they were talking to the viewer as if we've never heard of an extraction shooter.
They talked about it like they had invented the concept of extraction shooters. It was very odd.
Yeah, kind of. It's like
very Concordian.
Oh man,
very Concordian-esque.
Yeah, we're getting a little Concord vibes. I'm first of all, off the top, I'm hyped for this game. I know that maybe you're not. I can't wait to play it. I don't know if it's going to sell as much as they think it's going to, but extraction shooters are not like battle royales where anyone can play. It's a very grindy experience.
I think they are aiming for the audience that doesn't like that. I think from what I saw, it's very much, hey, we're trying to get the like more casual version of it.
Yeah, in doing so, you're going to ruin fans of extraction shooters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it depends. If they can reinvent it to where this can be the casual extraction shooter, then perfect. They've nailed it. That's exactly what people want.
An oxymoron.
Right. But it's different for console versus PC. Like PC, you'll get more of the hardcore stuff. Hardcore gamers. That's why like Counter-Strike.
Okay, I gotcha.
Your hardest of hardcore Rainbow Six Siege players are playing on PC.
I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah.
So I think that's what they're kind of shooting for, is the more casual version of what Tarkov is on PC. From what I've seen. That's my guess. Because you're not killing people in one shot. There's a time to kill that's long, like closer to Apex than it is to Tarkov or anything. You go down. Can you go down in Tarkov, or do you die instantly?
No, you can't go down. You can't be revived by a teammate, but you can bleed, and then you have to patch yourself up.
Right.
So you do have like a time limit after an engagement, or else you're going to die if you've taken enough damage.
So yeah, that's what it kind of felt like for me as we were watching this, or as I was watching this. I was like, they're kind of aiming for the console version, the casual version of an extraction shooter. Because to be fair, apart from The Division, we don't really have that on console.
Yeah, The Division is not so much looty, though, grabbing loot, but it is kind of like you go in, go out type of thing, and it is risky.
Well, and you do get loot. Like you have to attach it to the helicopter, and then it flies off.
I get it, but it's not like unique loot. It's like, this gun is purple,
right? And
I got to drop my green gun because this is purple, and purple is more
higher
valuable.
Quality in terms of like the DPS, but that's it. That's the value you're getting out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't go to a vendor and sell it for money.
Right.
You just keep it. It's like a Diablo extraction shooter.
Yeah. So I guess it's more a dungeon thing than it is.
Yeah.
But it's a PvP VE dungeon type of thing.
Exactly.
Anyways. Yeah. So I think the reaction, I won't say majority, but some of the reaction I was seeing was more
majority.
Was kind of like, where's the rest of it? Is this enough to be able to say, it's Bungie, they're going to figure it out? Like, that's kind of the reaction I saw a lot of.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's Bungie, and maybe not all the way Bungie. Ship of Theseus.
Ship of Theseus again.
But it's still Bungie, and they still have their DNA that runs through all their games, and they still do shooty.
Yeah.
Run, jump, slide,
they shoot
melee.
Better than anybody.
Really, really well. And it looks like that. It's just, I think a lot of people had higher expectations. Now, if this game came out and let's say Metal Eden, because when I first saw Metal Eden, I thought it was, I'm saying it correctly.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
When I first saw Metal Eden, remember I said, this is Marathon. I bet this is Marathon, because they have very similar vibes. And then when it was over and everybody was like, oh, it's a new IP from these developers of one of my favorite top-down shooty games, melee games. And everybody was like hyped on it. I was. The music was awesome. Now, if this was revealed to be another developer other than Bungie, I think people would be like, dude, this has potential.
Yeah,
but now people are more like, this has potential to cost Sony billions of dollars.
Yeah. And Bungie a lot of, and they've already gone through layoffs and everything. Bungie's been constantly going through layoffs ever since. And the other thing is too, this was the game that they said, okay, we're done with Destiny. This is the next thing we're doing. And for Bungie, that's like a big announcement. That's because they're one of the premier developers in the world.
Shooter developers.
Yeah.
Big time.
And I think a lot of people were expecting a lot more from the trailer that we got. And also, the more I see it, and granted, I didn't play the original, but the more I've seen of it, the more I'm like, is this Marathon? Like, it doesn't feel like it has any real connection to the original Marathon other than title.
I haven't really dug into it. Marathon was cool. I played it when it came out on Mac, I remember having, I was playing it with like, in bouts of like, where on earth is Carmen Sandiego?
Right.
And, my teacher
so you're playing it in school?
Yeah.
Okay.
My teacher. So I went to a really poor school, a poor neighborhood school, which in California, which turned out to get a lot of funding.
Mm-hmm.
So in bad neighborhoods, poor neighborhoods, the schools were really big and really rich.
Yeah.
And so we had a big lab.
They all had Mac computers.
And this is early 90s, that can hold like 2 or 3 classes. And we had a lab teacher, and the lab teacher was a big gamer. So the first time I heard of Doom was through him. And we all had Macs, of course, because it's school. And so I remember him saying, or whenever we're done typing, we would go to his computer and he'd be like, look what game I'm playing. And he played Marathon. And so if you got your work done, you can go sit at his computer and you can play like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of Marathon. And I played it a lot. Now, I played it big time when the 360 came out because Xbox Live Arcade, it had the Marathon trilogy, which is basically part 1 with the expansion pack and then part 2, Durandal, I think it was called. And it's a Doom clone. I think it's good, but it has a really, really good story to it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And that's what's missing.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
At least from now. At least from where we're at now at the reveal.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I'm concerned about is it's really hard to tell a interesting and easy to follow story through a PvPvE extraction shooter, right? Like there's not any game that really does that at all.
Well, Destiny kind of does that.
They kind of do it. But
read this card.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I mean told well, and Destiny's is not told very well because you have to read hours and hours of lore to really understand what is going on in that game.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that makes me a little bit nervous because Bungie, again, they make really good shooties, but they also are like very, I mean, and this was in the old days, were very talented storytellers with a lot of the games. I mean, Halo, obviously, but also in the later Halo entries, Marathon, like you were saying as well. So they were there. They were able to tell those stories, and even partially Destiny as well. There were times where I was like, oh, this is very interesting through line for this Destiny stuff. But what I'm scared of is we're just going to get the parts of Destiny style storytelling, which is just the face appearing on your screen telling you what's happening.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
And that would not be great. I would hate that.
I actually want them to go less story and more gameplay multiplayer stuff and a big multiplayer suite. I'm really interested in what they do with ranking and competitive play versus like other modes that they're going to be putting in there.
I just wish they wouldn't. If they were going to do that, I'm okay with it. I just wish it wouldn't be with the Marathon title, like the Marathon name.
Yeah,
because Marathon is like the story of it is very cool. Like I said, you don't get Halo and the AI conversation as far as Halo goes with Cortana and everything without Marathon
and Forerunners and stuff like that.
That's all from like all really not stolen, but like fed into from Marathon from the Halo series.
Yeah. Well, there is they're not really connected, but they could be. Yeah, you could draw a connection.
You
to
absolutely
them.
could. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's just kind of I would be more hyped for it if it wasn't Marathon, if that makes sense. Because I would be more hyped for a Marathon game that was
story.
Yeah, like
involved?
Not necessarily story driven, but there was a more clear and present focus on the story than what we're getting.
I don't know. It doesn't really bother me that much. It's like I think it's more of instead of Bungie saying, you guys want more Marathon? I think it's like, we are the team that built Marathon.
Right.
This is us getting in our roots. So like, we are Bungie. This is, it's more of a branding thing.
But are they the team that built Marathon?
No, I don't think so.
That's the thing, That's kind of the thing.
I don't know. But also another thing that we should mention before we critique it that much is that it's also a hero shooter.
Yeah, it's a hero extraction shooter.
So you pick during the gameplay stuff, you can only pick 4 heroes.
There's 6 announced.
And they do basic hero shooter stuff like reveal enemies through walls, go invisible, have you played a shield. Apex? It's like,
that's what it is.
Little cookie cutter. And now we should definitely talk about criticisms, or should we talk about things we like first and be positive?
Well, no, let's go negative.
Okay.
Big time.
Good job.
Yeah. I think so one of the initial reactions that I think a lot of people had was they announced 3 maps for the initial launch, 6 characters that you'll be able to play as playable characters, and the immediate comparisons came to Apex, obviously, because that's essentially what Apex is. But the difference is Apex is free to play. And so people were initially like, so is this going to be free to play? Is there going to be a price on this?
Definitely not.
And my favorite, this is one of my favorite things that game studios love to do.
What?
Just my favorite thing. They tweeted, because somebody tweeted at them. It was I think it was a journalist or whatever, and they answered. And for Marathon's Twitter, they responded and said, quote, Marathon will be a premium title. Marathon will not be a full-priced title.
Okay.
Just absolutely tells me nothing.
Yeah, it does. It tells you everything.
You might as well have just said nothing. You might as well have not responded. No, just one of the dumbest things you can say. I hate it.
No, you just gotta. That's corporate talk, really.
That's what I mean.
It's $40, guys.
All right,
just like Concord, just like Foam Stars, and just like Helldivers.
Yeah, it's a premium title, but it won't be premium priced. So take that and take it to the bank.
Yeah, and
I can pay you with that quote.
And there you go from there to battle passes, to skins, to
true. Yeah, they're gonna and they mentioned battle passes. They're gonna have that. They talked about that already. Yeah, I don't know. I think because everybody's gonna make the immediate connection to Apex, because 3-person team, hero shooter, where you've got versus other 3-person teams.
You can go in solo or duel.
Yeah,
but you're going in with other 3-tier teams.
But you have to pick a character. That's a fair assessment to make, because now people will just look at it and say Apex, but extraction shooter. I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah, but it's slow though.
It is slower. It's slower than Apex is from what we've seen, which is interesting because. So the funny thing is,
it's faster than a regular extraction shooter.
Right. When you're comparing it to Tarkov, the progression is really slow. Like getting to certain points is incredibly slow, but your firefights are very fast.
Oh yeah.
Like because you can get killed in one bullet, so they're quick.
If you have good ammo and the other guy has bad armor.
I should say the conclusion of those firefights are very quick.
Yeah. Cool.
Whereas in this, the progression seems like it's faster, but the firefights are slower because they're not one-shot kills and stuff.
Yeah, and you can definitely escape quicker.
Yeah. So I think
watching Lupo, you watched him, right?
Yeah, Dr. Lupo. Yeah.
And he had it down where he was like popping in firefights and then popping out, popping in, popping out. I feel like that's what's going to be the meta when it comes to engagement, which made me really, really like it.
See, to me, that's very
the gameplay.
That's very Apex to me, because that's what Apex is.
Yeah, you're right. It is.
You pop out, you reshield, pop back in, that whole thing.
No, I think your comparison to Apex is fine. I'm going to compare it to The Cycle. You remember that game?
Yeah.
So The Cycle is an extraction shooter. It came out 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. That failed big time.
Okay.
It was also free to play. But it had very saturated colors, and the map wasn't so big. Stuff like that. And it did have an Apex vibe as well. For me, when it comes to that, the 3-team, I don't think squatting up with 3 people is 3 is a really bad
weird
number.
Yeah.
I don't like that, because that means someone has to cover you while you shield and the other guy can flank. It makes things awkward. 2-player is better in my opinion, and 4-player is better.
It is. Well, we've also just gotten used to having either 4 or 2. Yeah. That's kind of been
it's like, and now you are probably me. I'm going to go in with a friend. I bet I can find a friend to play this with. And because it is on PC.
I hope so. No.
And then we're going to probably get a random.
Yeah.
And if we don't, we're at a disadvantage because it's an extraction shooter. So
you need the extra person.
I play a lot of extraction shooters, but mostly I play not Tarkov, Ghost of Tabor, which I've said many times. I think extraction shooters are best in VR because it's just way more intense, I guess, because that's really the hook of a extraction shooter, is that it's risky and it's intense.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary. I always said Tarkov is almost like a mini horror game because every gunfire that you hear up close, it kind of makes you jump a little bit because you don't really expect it.
Yeah. I got that from, and again, I'm kind of equating it back to BR more than anything because I haven't played, if any, extraction shooters.
Yeah.
But there is a...
You never played Vigor?
No.
Vigor?
No, I never played...
It's on console.
The thing with the extraction shooters is I want to play it with some other people. You know, not a lot of my friends are playing extraction shooters. Again, not a lot of my friends are playing extraction shooters. No.
Why don't we play Hunt Showdown? That's one of my favorite flat.
Yeah, I should play. I gotta.
Hunt Showdown's awesome.
Add it to the list. I
Very
play a lot
unique.
of games.
So that's another thing is that I don't think Marathon is unique whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a good. Let's lead into that.
Other than the art style, which I think is. It's like not quite there yet.
Right.
The art direction in the mini film, like the short film that came with it, which was done by an amazing filmmaker who has done work with like Love, X Robots, I think.
Isn't it just Love and Robot?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he's a really good filmmaker. So the short film was awesome. And you can tell that the art direction is trying to go through all of that. Through the film and through the video games and the promotional stuff and the teaser trailers and all that stuff. It's just when it came to the gameplay, it looked washed out.
Yeah, it doesn't...
In not a good way.
It doesn't carry over as well. And that's kind of expected.
And so there is a transhumanist element to it. So the characters, you're playing a hero, right? So the characters are bland because they are just kind of shells. So...
The most unique quality about them is their ability.
Yeah, and they're androgynous, so it's like
right.
You're in the future. I mean, the story could be great.
Future.
It would be great. We just don't know. Like, I'm sure you can swap bodies. I mean, I think they showed it a lot in the teaser trailer and in the short film. Oh, all these people are swapping bodies.
Alberto Mielgo
is
his name, the director. Anyways, sorry.
So some of the characters, the makeup design, I guess it's like they look like NASCARs with their
NASCAR
with their sponsors on their body, right? And so they kind of look clown-y.
Yeah,
you notice that,
right? It's just the harsh. I mean, it's the harsh color palette versus
and plastic
like against because they showed like you're in a bog and whatnot. So it's the harsh color palette against that like regular green backdrop and whatnot.
I think the colors are great. I like the minimalist approach to the art direction. I think it's cool. It's just, when it comes to gameplay, it just looks lacking. It looks like there's stuff missing.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit as far as the art style goes in the minimalist with like the bright sheening colors. It reminds me a lot of
Brink.
No, not Brink. A little bit of Brink, but for different reasons. It reminds me actually of the Finals a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Yes,
because the Finals has
it's saturated,
and it's very saturated, but it's also very minimalist because everything can blow up.
There's a reason for that, though,
right? Because
there's so much debris on your screen that if you made everything shimmer and you made every texture pop in and it would just...
Your game would run at 30 frames or less than.
So it's simplified.
Right.
It's also done by the same guys who made Mirror's Edge.
Right.
Who really perfected that simple look.
Well, and I mean, arguably started that kind of, in games anyways, that version of oversaturation with harsh random color, like red colors. Contrast. But with the Finals too, the thing that it has going for it when it comes to that game, other than everything can be destroyed, it's also using environments that you recognize. So you're in Vegas and you understand you're in a casino.
Slot machines and stuff like that.
Your mind can kind of fill in the extra parts that you don't need to understand.
Right. And buildings with
with this, with Marathon and how it's minimalist, you almost want the extra detail because you can't imagine what it is.
It all looks like a moon base.
Yeah. True. That's a good point. That's a good example.
I have faith in Bungie's shooting.
Yeah.
That I think that whatever the gameplay is around, or whatever the design is around the gameplay, it's just the gameplay will push forward. Now, we have no idea what kind of rewards you get, or what kind of loot you get. I did see the inventory, and it's very much like Tarkov again. The reason why I liked this stuff in VR is because you're not menu swapping. You're looking at your backpack and putting it in there. So when you have to just pop up a flat menu and then use your mouse to like drag
stuff in
and out, it's
like Resident Evil. We did that
like Resident Evil
3 years ago.
That's a survival horror game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did see that. I just don't know if the hook is going to be great.
Right.
But on to another complaint I have is that I think when you take an extraction shooter and you try to change it and make it simplified, you're going to lose what makes extraction shooters a lot of fun. And that it's a very grindy thing. It's slow. So when they showed the inventory, they had all the prices on the loot that you have.
Yeah.
Usually in a game, you pick something up in Tarkov, especially for first-time players, and they go, I don't know what this is. Is this valuable?
Is this worth anything?
So I'm just going to put it in my backpack anyways, and then I'll find out later. And then you find out, oh, this is only worth 50 rubles. And so you're like, this is dumb. And when you get a video card, and the first time I saw someone play Tarkov, they got a video card. The first time I saw someone get a video card, it was a long time ago. And they're like, I don't know what this is. This has got to be valuable, right? And then they finally extracted with it, and then it became one of the most valuable things ever. And he got excited. This was years ago. So then throughout the community, everybody started looking for these video cards. You know, that's kind of what made the extraction shooter in Tarkov grow because of all this intrigue. If you take all that out.
Right. And if everything's listed for you,
it's not fun enough to just go in like a death match and then jump out.
I mean, there is no intrigue at that point if it's all listed for you.
I guess the fun factor would be to level up, which they said you're going to be leveling up just like Tarkov, so you'll be able to run faster, ADS faster. I think.
I think the thing that they're really trying to sell is the combat. Like that's what because most of the time they're like they showed the menu stuff and the like looting stuff briefly.
Yes.
But it was mainly the firefights you were getting into.
And also the firefights they kept showing. Just watch the trailer right now. I'll put it up there. Tell me if you can tell the difference between them shooting an AI and a player.
Yeah. True.
I couldn't. Unless you watch the actual gameplay of the event from people playing other players, because they would say that's a player.
Right.
Otherwise, during the trailer and there's multiple trailers, it looked like they were standing and shooting, even when it came to players. So it was like, are you going to duck? Are you going to move? Or are you just going to stand there and shoot? And it was all kind of close combat too. I didn't see any long range engagements unless it was from the players playing at the event and they had a sniper. And even then, I didn't see a lot of kills with snipers.
Yeah. They showed some in the DMRs. Trailer, but again, they were like quick and then they were like cutaways and stuff. So I don't know.
I'm going to guess most of the engagement is going to be up close to medium range. And the maps don't look that big.
Yeah, I put big maps down, but it's all relative, right? Like Tarkov's is obviously going to be bigger.
It's big, and then you have something like PUBG.
Right.
Which PUBG maps are gigantic.
A joke as far as how big they are.
Some of them, you need a vehicle.
Right. You can go through the entire PUBG map, not see a single person die from the red zone.
Yeah. Blue zone.
Is it blue zone? Yeah. Wait.
You can die from a red zone is like
the artillery.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
artillery.
that's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. When you're just walking through and they're like, oh, we'll drop artillery right here.
Don't do that. I hate that. That might be the dumbest video game design in the history of popular video games ever. No one likes it. If you die from artillery,
you get pissed.
The first time I played it, I thought it was really exciting. Like, oh man, I'm going through bombs and mortars. And then when you start getting good at it and you have a lot of good loot and you're ready to win, and all of a sudden a random missile hits you.
I understand why it's there because it gets people moving, but it doesn't make any sense when the map is like the blue zone is barely closing in.
I think it's stupid because what it does is it says you can't be here, so come back later in like 45 seconds. It's just
I agree with you. As far as I'm sorry. There are positive things I will say about this. I
have a lot of positive things.
I have one more negative.
Okay.
So game director Joe Ziegler, something he said that caught my attention, I thought was interesting. He said, and this was also kind of following the questions about price and availability for it, obviously. And he responded and said, quote, "We're hoping that what we're showing is exciting enough that someone is going to take the leap with us. But we are also committed to delivering on seasons past this that will continuously offer to evolve the game without an increase in the box price." And justifying the box price with future DLC usually doesn't, like, that's kind of, that gets my blinkers going for red flag stuff. Cause I'm like, you should be able to justify the box price with the current product that you're selling it at the box price, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I saw that and I was like, I shouldn't have to make the leap with you by paying for more DLC. It should be me taking the leap with you when I pay $40 for it, you know?
Yeah.
That's so, I don't know. It could be something minor. It could just be something he's saying because he's getting asked a bazillion questions, obviously. But that just, you know, that caught my attention when he said that. That reminded me of Anthem when I saw that the first time.
Yeah. There's a lot of people talking about Anthem.
Yeah.
Another negative thing for me is I don't know if Sony is the right people to be in bed with this kind of game.
True.
And also the extraction shooter genre. Like, I feel like by itself, it's not, unless it's Escape from Tarkov.
Right.
It's not enough for me to want to play for a long time. Well, I think you're going to have another game mode.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is too, like the hook that they've been that they haven't shown, just there really isn't one there. Like, what's going to separate this from Tarkov other than it being for more casual
I mean,
players?
how many successful extraction shooters are there?
Not very many.
You can say Vigor is one of them, right? I don't think it sells very well, but it's been around on console and on PC up until last year. I mean, it came to PC for the first time last year.
Yeah.
For a long time. And I think it's a third-person extraction shooter, so I think some people like it. And then you have Tarkov, and you have Ghosts of Tabor, which is the VR, and then the Arena game.
Arena Blackout, right?
Yeah, Arena
Blackout?
No, not Blackout.
Arena Breakout. Yeah, there you
go. Which is the Chinese knockoff of Tarkov. Yeah. But that's pretty good. The Delta Force one, I played that. That's not good. It's just not. But
that's not an extraction, is it? I thought it was just multiplayer. Delta Force Black Hawk Down, that one, right?
Yeah, the Black Hawk Down is the single player.
Right.
They have a Battlefield like Conquest mode, and then they have an extraction shooter.
Gotcha.
The extraction shooter is it's.
There's probably a reason they didn't show that very much.
It's not as good as Arena. I'll tell you that much. And I can name you a bunch that just have come and gone and failed.
Yeah.
So it's not like you are batting with. It's not like you're not coming up to the plate with a high percentage here. Well, it's not like Battle Royale when everybody started doing BRs. I mean, everybody was eating them up.
Yeah.
I don't think it's extraction shooters are a lot more niche, and hero shooters are absolutely disgusted by
thing of the past
right now.
Yeah.
So people don't like hero shooters now unless it's like a Marvel product.
Right.
Because if Marvel Rivals came out and it was just random people that no one's ever heard of before,
right,
and you couldn't pick Venom and Spider-Man and all these guys, then it wouldn't have done well.
Exactly. Well, they're feeding on the fact that everybody recognizes the characters they're playing as. I will say too, when it comes to batting a high percentage as well, and you brought this up, without Helldivers right now, Sony and its multiplayer landscape would be a disaster. I mean, they would have essentially nothing. And then Bungie, Destiny 2, whatever. Sure, you can make a claim that those are solid games. I guess they're not for me. But before that, you're going 20 years ago was Halo 3?
2007,
almost 20 years ago. So when they did put this on the trailer, they were like, from the developers of Halo 3. You can't really sell me on a game you did 20 years ago now. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't come off as effectively anymore. So I don't know. When it comes to batting, you're coming up to the plate. It's not like the former hardest hitters are still there, But it's more like, it's not Barry Bonds in his prime.
It's
that's a bad example because he was perfect until he was 45. It's like it's like Bartolo Colon stepping up and throwing, you're expecting a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but he's 45 years old and he's throwing like 90-mile-an-hour sinker.
I think they can still nail it. I think the talent there is really good. It's just, I don't know how many times we have to see the same story play over and over again. You have this big Western developed AAA game where they're late to the party.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just so late to the party, man. It's hard to buy into this, honestly.
Literally.
Yeah.
You literally have to buy into it.
I mean, I think paying $40 for a Bungie game is, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to be excited to buy it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. At first I was going to kind of counter all the negative and the hate against Bungie and all this stuff. But then I forgot that they haven't really been in the good graces. Like, they haven't had good relationships with their players in the last few years. Like DLC, removing DLC, promising things and not delivering, being late, delays. Being from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2.
Working on Concord.
The consultation they've given Sony this is rumors, but I guarantee it's true. When they
reckless speculation, by the way.
Yep, I'm going to say
you can't say this is rumors, but I guarantee this is true.
I know, because when there's smoke, there's fire. Because there's just some credible people that have said this, but they just haven't delivered proof.
Right. And
we do know that Sony did say they wanted their expertise when it came to live service games,
right?
Which was their initiative back a few years ago. And I think they axed the Last of Us factions through the consultation of Bungie. And I think through the consultation of Bungie, they greenlit Concord.
Yeah.
Or greenlit the purchase of them. So I don't think they're doing very well. And I don't think Sony has a clue of what we want to play.
It's hard to disagree with that.
But now the good things.
I was going to say the positives for Marathon.
Positives. I can't wait for a sci-fi extraction shooter. Yeah, such a great opportunity for an extraction shooter to have a hardcore science fiction. And this is very far into the future.
Yeah.
So as long as you
Ghost
can
in the Shell, it's
yeah. As long as you can avoid, it seems like further in the future than Ghost in the Shell. That's for sure.
But I mean, style-wise.
Yeah, style-wise. Yeah. If you can just avoid the basic pitfalls that every bad hero shooter and every bad extraction shooter does, then I think you have a really good mix of. You can have a good mix of gameplay, exploration, looting, extraction, fun loop. So. And it did look great. The shooting did look really good. The gunplay looked awesome.
My big positive was going to be the gunplay. The gunplay always, like, Bungie could release a Roblox style and they'll somehow make it look like the shooting looks like a blast.
It does. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I can't. Now, do I think it's worth $40 for that? Personally, me? No. Nothing I saw was like, I'm willing to spend $40 on this.
But then again, have you seen everything? They've only given you one map. They've given you a slice, really.
But it is weird if they're going to do an 80-minute presentation and they're like, we're actually going to hold back on some of the stuff. But it's like, then why are you doing this whole, just show us the gameplay trailer, the gameplay reveal. You don't need 80 minutes worth of this stuff in order to hold back more.
I don't know. It feels like Sony's like kind of showcasing, hey, everybody, this is the reason we paid $3.6 or $3.7 billion for this company.
But it's also...
And they're like, here they are, like on a pedestal. But
it's incredibly tone deaf because it's also like, hey, these are the guys. We're going to put them on here for 80 minutes. And they're the reason factions died. And Concord also died. Allegedly. Hey, Destiny 2, remember when they said they always say this stupid stuff, the 10-year life cycle? We're burning it to the ground because these guys want to make Marathon again. So I don't know. It's just...
I think it has been 10 years, hasn't it?
For Destiny 2? No, Destiny, that would have been... It released, I think, in 2017. 2017.
Okay.
So not almost 10 years, but not quite. And it's been... I mean, they stopped giving stuff to it before 2025.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's move on. That's Marathon.
Yeah, Marathon.
That rhymed. I guess not really. It's both on at the end. So does that count as a rhyme?
Yeah. It's not a, what's the other word called when it rhymes in the front?
That's a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Para and Paragon if Marathon.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Exactly.
I don't know what that's called. A front word rhyme. Yeah, I guess we'll see. They didn't have a release date on it, did they? I don't think they showed a release date for the game.
Yes, September
okay.
27th or something like that.
There you go.
That's another positive. It's coming out.
Right.
And there's going to be a closed alpha. Don't call it alpha. Closed beta and an open beta.
So a demo, and a demo.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I can't wait to get my hands on it because I need new shooters. I need new
We can't do this again.
shooters.
This is every episode.
I cannot stand
This is every episode.
the landscape of competitive shooting.
Yeah, I
There's
know.
Counter-Strike and everybody else.
We do this
Everybody
every
else.
episode. We can't do this every.
You're not going to do Counter-Strike? No one can except for Valve. And everybody's like, we want games that are competitive and fun. Well, they all suck.
Bethesda had some Oblivion remaster pictures leaked.
Yeah, let's talk about
that. Man, they really can do they can do everything except announce this game. It's kind of incredible.
This is really funny about this. Okay. Oblivion remake
Yeah.
is a big deal.
Yeah.
But throughout the last few months,
Yeah.
it has been nothing but small
It's all leaks.
and rumors, big rumors and small rumors, but they seem to be all true.
I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw the whole trailer and Bethesda was like, yeah, we didn't mean for that to come out.
I think that this game is imminent.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we will get an announcement the day the game comes out.
Yeah, I think Bethesda's going to be like, hey, this is a week away. Go check it out.
I think they might be like, it's available to download right now.
I don't know.
Is there a
weird.
Bethesda con coming up soon?
There could be. They could
Like
have, or like an Xbox thing that I would
Quake
imagine.
Fest?
That they do
What is it called? QuakeCon?
Yeah, QuakeCon. I don't think they do it at QuakeCon though. I think they would do it on an Xbox thing.
You think so?
Yeah. So like whenever Xbox next event is, because I mean they're owned by Xbox.
Yeah,
now,
I know.
So,
but it's just strange.
Yeah, I've seen more of this game unwillingly than willingly.
I saw the leaked photos. I'll put them up.
The screenshots.
And they compared from the 360 version or what year did that game come out? 2000.
It was right at the crossover, I think. 2005
to modern day. And, it looks like there's a yellow filter over it.
Oh, we're playing New Vegas.
So, we're playing those 360 era games.
Yeah.
It looked like a lot better graphics. It's just the vibe that you got from playing Oblivion was very lush.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think lore-wise, it shouldn't be that lush.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dead because they're the invasion of
hell.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
The Elder Scrolls version of hell. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for this.
I mean, I am too.
I need more stuff.
I never played the Oblivion game, so I want to play this one when it comes out, just because it'll be a remake of something I like historic that I missed out on.
They showed I forgot what they're called. The creatures, they're like female creatures. They live in the woods and they have
the Khajiit. No, those are the cats.
No, those are the cats. These are enemies and they're like fairies, but they're tall.
Okay.
And they have like wooden legs and I don't know.
Hot.
But they hang out in the woods.
Let's go.
But they showed it and this girl was hot and they had a very upscaled model with a lot of work done on it. So it doesn't look like if this is real. This might be.
I don't know. Yeah, the whole it's so weird.
Fake. But I'm going to assume this isn't just a small remake. This looks like a big boy remake.
I mean,
new
what
engine,
else?
Everything.
What else are they doing at the Bethesda other than? Well, no, not even Doom anymore. It's not theirs. Is
Doom?
it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's they're publishing. Yeah.
Well, no.
No, id's making it, and then
it develops it.
Bethesda publishes.
Yeah, but where does Bethesda get their money?
Oh, Xbox. Right.
Microsoft.
Yeah, same thing. Whatever.
So who knows what goes on over there? Apparently, when they bought Bethesda and that whole package for how much? $87
billion.
60-something billion?
Yeah.
They didn't gut everything and start over. They left them doing their jobs.
Which, to be fair, good for them because, I mean, Doom looks like it's going to be absolutely awesome. So, anyways.
It does.
And who knows? Maybe this Oblivion thing will be cool too.
It does. I really hope that Marathon comes out and is as loved like the Doom games are. Because the lineage between the id guys and the Bungie guys and even the Valve guy, I love this stuff.
Well, there's also probably a lot of crossover from like the id guys to the marathon, like a Bungie marathon guys. Like they probably end up working for one another at some point.
And Valve, because they're all, I think, Valve's in Washington and Bungie's in Washington. So
Bungie.
So
yeah, that's kind of I did see something that made me kind of smile as like
at the leaked photos?
No, not for Oblivion.
Okay.
Respawn announced we're not talking. Last week I was going to talk about Titanfall. Guess what? Week later, it turns out it's all fake.
Can you talk about that?
Dead in the water.
What?
There were some leaks from valuable or like some like pretty credited leakers, like Apex leakers and whatnot. And after like 72 hours, we were basically having like a war between an official games journalist who like has actual contacts inside of Respawn and then the leakers. And then the journalist was like, yeah, I can kind of essentially prove to you that this is not real. You've been duped.
You've been had.
Yeah. And then the other guy
convinced me last week. He's like, this is happening. It's happening.
They tried to convince me. All right. They're pulling at the strings.
Man, talk about a franchise that just got the shaft.
We were, I was looking at the Titanfall subreddit just like this the whole time. Just depressed.
Dude, if you go to Steam and go to Titanfall 2, it is sitting at overwhelmingly positive.
Rightfully so.
And they're not even talking about the multiplayer, which I think is amazing.
Overwhelmingly positive.
And they're talking about the campaign. They're like, this is one of the best campaigns I've ever played. And most of them are coming from people who are younger. Because they're like, I heard this game was good. I tried it. Wow, it really is that good. I don't know why they don't make another one.
Right now, just smile.
It's like throwing you.
Yeah. God, what a game. Anyways, no, not that. That's not what I was talking about.
Sucks.
Respawn, they did announce their, Respawn and EA announced one of their new Star Wars projects. And I was like, oh, all right, let's go. We're going to see what the new Jedi game is. It's called, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like Event something. I don't remember. And I was like, oh, so they're making maybe a first-person shooter in Star Wars? That'll be cool for Respawn. That's a good idea. And then I looked at, I read the details and it's like, guess what? It's being made in tangent with some of the people that used to make the XCOM games. It's a turn-based strategy game. And I'm like...
It sounds good to me.
Make me
Why don't you like turn-based strategy games?
You know what I did do? I played some turn-based strategy in Outlast Trials, and it's called chess. And that was the turn-based strategy game I was playing.
There's a chessboard in that game?
Yeah, there's two.
Okay.
The game's it's actually pretty fun.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Outlast Trials?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've heard people say that it was underwhelming at first, but
yeah.
A lot of the people that love that game really love it.
That feels like you just described every live service game. Feels like right now.
No, I don't think a lot of people say that about Anthem or Foam Stars.
That's dead. So yeah, true. Concord.
The Cycle, Concord. I actually liked Concord.
Right. By the way, what happened to that Valve game? Is that out?
No, it's not out yet.
Okay.
Still in early access.
Called? I can't remember what it was called. But that was like their next big thing.
It's like a MOBA, first-person MOBA.
Yeah. What was that called? Anyways.
It starts with an A.
Anthemino.
I don't know.
Let's move on. That was it. That's the news.
I saw
Respawn and I was like, oh my, Respawn announced his new Star Wars game. I saw that as the headline. I was like, we're getting the end of the trilogy. Let's go. And then it was like, this is a turn-based action strategy game. And I was like, oh my God. This could have been an email. No offense to the turn-based fans. I get it. You guys are out there.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's different. But the only thing that's great about that is you can have beautiful romance relations with anything you want in that game.
Yeah, but that's not why people play.
Character customization is really good too, though.
Yeah, it's not why people play.
No, I think it's what people play.
No, they don't. They play because it's an amazing turn-based strategy RPG.
I can't wait to take turns against a CPU.
I don't know why that drives.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. Whatever. It's.
I don't get that. Is that just your generation?
It's a me thing. It's a me thing. It's me. It's me.
Maybe turn-based strategy is an old. Maybe it's an old guy thing. Is it? Does it feel like an old guy thing?
Dude, chess was invented 16 centuries ago.
Not chess. Because
That's the OG turn-based strategy.
Growing up playing video games, turn-based strategies were everywhere.
I don't know. I can't. Here's
like on the regular Nintendo, there's North versus South, which was a Civil War style game, which was my first turn-based strategy game, and it was. Yeah. I was like, "Wow, this is crazy!" And then
you're like, "I have to let the South win." No.
and then Civilization, and then all this stuff. And
Civ's a great example. I liked Civ at first.
It's not real time, but it is.
No, it's turn-based.
Did it used to be?
I don't know. It's turn-based though. Right. I know that.
Yeah.
But after a while, I'm just like, I just want to build my place. I don't want to have to wait for the computer France to finish his job or his stupid turn for me to make Egypt look better or whatever. It just puts a pause in the action where I don't want the pause.
I don't know. I think if you grew up around with me, you would have liked Final Fantasy.
It is the TikTok generation. Like we're into that era.
Like
where we need everything now.
You want to feel like some feedback, right?
Exactly. I'm not a waiter. I'm not
a patient person.
Yeah.
Man, you should really practice that.
Thanks. I agree, though. Okay. I'm going to run through the games releasing this week because there's a bunch of them that are just dumping on us.
Okay. And then I'm going to.
And then whenever you hear one that you've heard of or like, hey, this sounds cool, then we'll stop. Starting with Lost Records, Bloom and Rage Tape 2 comes out today. Next,
Terrible.
The Electrifying Incident, a Monster Mini Expedition on PC.
I don't never heard of it.
Today, Bionic Boy, 2 days from now.
You mean Bionic Bay?
Yeah, sorry. I read it as a no. Bionic Bay comes out in 2 days.
Never heard of it either.
I actually heard some things about this game that's kind of cool.
Does it look cool? Is it a strategy game?
You play as like a scientist who can teleport.
Oh, I've seen this.
Side-scrolling.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Got it.
Looks kind of cool.
It does look cool.
PS5, PC. Chasmal Fear. Okay. Gorn 2.
Gorn 1 is a fantastic VR arena kind of wave game.
Yeah. One of the initial big, like, popular VR games is Gorn.
Yeah, it was Gorn. Very, very cartoony and gory, which is, I think, always goes well with each other.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, that comes out to PS5. Great game. Awesome. Go play it, PS5 fans.
Yeah, it's good.
Mandragora.
I remember seeing the cover of this, but I don't know.
Okay. Good. Bad name, but
JRPG,
there's probably a reason for it. Rusty Rabbit. Good name. That's a good name.
Something you would buy on...
Don't know what it is.
Cupid.com.
Adam and Eve. I was going to say Adam and Eve. Yeah. Even though Rusty, anything named Rusty, anything, I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't put this inside me.
It's been used a lot.
Lunar Remastered Collection. I don't know what this is. Lunar Remastered Collection.
Oh my gosh, you never played Lunar?
You play it as the moon.
No. It's an old school JRPG. This has also been remastered a million times. Second Star Story is what the second one. I love the second one. Very, very, very good story.
There you go.
You play as a little boy in space, and then you befriend a girl and you try to court her. It's great. That's all I remember, being young, playing Lunar Silver Star Story. And it was like it had good romance for the time.
Okay. What about Mirage Ignis Fatus?
Nope. Never heard of it.
Bad name. Tranquil Isle.
Awesome name.
Isle. Good name. Yeah.
Good name.
April 18th. These are all those. I'm
going to guess what this is. This is a point and click adventure.
Tranquil Isle.
Yeah. Or a walking simulator.
I was thinking base builder.
Really?
Yeah, like something akin to like what's the famous Nintendo one?
Animal Crossing?
Yeah, Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Tranquil Isle. You want to live on Tranquil Isle.
I feel like it's a moody walking sim or a point and click adventure.
We're gonna be both just way around. It's a zombie first person shooter. Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, April 21st.
This is
it's a big release.
It's actually probably the biggest release of the week.
Yeah.
Fatal Fury. I mean, it's like the king of fighters.
Mm-hmm.
But this one looks really good. I haven't had a proper Fatal Fury in a while. So
is this a sequel? Because there was the original Fatal Fury.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
a whole bunch of them. Yeah. Okay. Most of the like Terry Bogard and I can't remember the rest of the characters' names. It's a fighter, 2D fighter.
Cool.
Usually really good. SNK.
There you go. Rise of Rebellion.
No, never.
All right.
Never heard of it.
This is a good name too. Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3. This is the third in a very illustrious trilogy. I don't know.
You
if
putting
that's
slop
true.
on here?
Yeah, I could make most of these up, but
Creepy
this one is real.
redneck dinosaur match. I know exactly what kind of game this is.
Yeah,
just
that's
by the
true.
title.
It's in the name.
That's
yeah,
good.
that's April 22nd. Out of Hands.
No.
Oh wait, is that the game from the guys that did the Falling Down game?
Oh, maybe. Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
where you can't use your hands; it's just your legs, and you're walking around.
Yeah,
and stuff.
is that I don't know. This might be worthy to look up.
I gotta look this up.
I'm gonna start. You go look it up. I'll take over. Steel Seed, also an Adam and Eve.
Also good. True. Even better. It's an even better name for an Adam and Eve thing. Steel Seed. Are you kidding me?
I don't know what this is either.
It's not that game.
And here is a nomination for the worst title of the year. Beholder Conductor. Oh.
It's a bad name. Beholder Conductor.
Oh.
I don't. This also just doesn't make any sense.
That makes me hate this piece of paper.
It could just be Behold Conductor. This is copy and pasted. So this is what it says.
But it's
Beholder Conductor.
I would say you were right if it was Beholder with an OR.
That's what I don't know what they're doing. By the way, Out of Hands is not the one that we're thinking.
Okay.
Different game. Old Skies. Don't know what that is.
That'd be cool if this was a remake of 1943, which is the top-down shooter, vertical shooter.
Is it called Old Skies 1943?
No, it's called.
It's Old Guys 1943.
Yeah, Old Guys. Adam and Eve.
Damn it. Sunderfolk. This is a good name. Don't know what this is. Cool. But
it's probably an artsy-fartsy side-scrolling
most of these are.
Platformer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels like it lines perfectly in place with Tranquil Isle.
We just went through. Is there anything that you that stands out besides Indiana Jones?
No, the big one. Well, Gorn 2. I would play Gorn 2.
Play Lunar Remastered. Lunar Silver Star Story, which is remaster of the second one. I think it was just. Yeah. I don't know.
I'll tell you.
The Lunar games are fantastic, especially the old ones.
What I will do is I'll buy the Rusty Rabbit as well as the Steel Seed, but as far as games go, I'm not seeing a lot on here that maybe Bionic Bay. Bionic Bay look kind of cool.
Okay.
It's a big week next week.
Lost Records is a terrible game.
I don't know what that is. Oh, Bloom and Rage 2?
Yeah. The first one, Lost. It was just not good. All right. What are you playing?
I actually haven't been playing a whole lot because I've been crazy busy.
I've been really busy
sports
too.
Stuff.
I'm going on
He's gone next week.
vacation. Someone's staying at my house and they have lots of guns at their house, so please don't break in.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, wait, who's staying? Not me. You didn't even invite me.
I have people. So when I announce to the world that I'm going on vacation,
you shouldn't have done that. By the way, that's usually a bad idea. But
all
don't
the people that watch this. Strauss Zelnick is watching. Strauss, he'll protect me.
I hope. You know what, Strauss? I hope you're watching. You're a good guy. Actually, I don't know that, but I like your games.
When it goes to CEOs, I love Strauss Zelnick.
Yeah, true.
He's a straight shooter. Tells you like it is.
Right.
No fluff. I like that.
He kind of has the job security to do so.
Yeah. He looks like the CEO, giant corporate mogul kind of guy but
he looks like Bobby Kotick, but isn't Bobby Kotick.
Yeah, I don't like Bobby Kotick.
No one does.
Strauss seems like a cool guy.
Cool, dude. What are you playing?
All right, so I played one of the most anticipated games I listed. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
South of Midnight.
By the way, some of the music I've heard from this game is banging.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it.
It's so good.
It's the best thing about the entire game is the music. This game sucks.
Hold on. Now let him come back a little bit because that's usually what he does.
I know.
He likes to be overzealous and then he'll reel it back in.
Let's say positives first. Positives first. I like that it is a game that is different. It's not different whatsoever, but it's a theme. And I mean, I'm a sucker for American folklore, especially the South.
Yeah.
They do not do a dang thing with the story. It's terrible. And I like the art direction a lot. It looks like Coraline. The way they do the facial animations, I think a lot of people did not like because it's done kind of cheaply, but the idea is awesome. It's like stop motion facial expressions. So it's not like 3D animated. It's like almost flat over their face.
Right.
Sometimes it looks bad and sometimes it looks good. The cutscene animation looks really good. There is some serious frame rate problems in this game. Serious frame rate problems. And remember when we were looking at the trailer, people were like, yeah, it looks like kind of framey to me. And everyone's like, no, that's the art style. But I knew what they were meaning. They saw something that I see that's apparent in the game. Typical bad guy, typical protagonist. I mean, it's nothing special. Music is amazing.
Yeah, the music I've heard is awesome.
I've really
heard some of the
is
tracks
awesome.
and I'm like, this is banging.
If this game came out on PlayStation 2, if it came out before God of War or alongside a Ratchet and Clank game or something like that, it would have been loved.
Yeah.
It's just because the pathing, the jumping and the climbing, the very, very uninspiring, Uncharted, like climb this white paint boards that are stuck on this thing and then go along a path is bad. The actual fighting, the main crux of the gameplay, which is the combat, is just, I mean, it's bad. This is not good. So I played it up until chapter 4. I think I got through chapter 1, 2, and 3 and a little bit of 4. The story started to get a little bit better, and then it sucked. And then the Alice in Wonderland style storytelling, it's not very good. It feels like a kid's game. This is definitely a whimsical kid's game, except for the main character says the F word a lot.
It's like Alice in Wonderland, like you said.
Yes, but the main character is clearly rated R. So it's like, wow. So I was like going to have Odin play it. And then I was like, well, Odin, I mean, she just says the F word too much. And he's 6 years old.
It's Alice in Wonderland Southern folklore. Essentially.
Yeah. And the story goes to typical areas and it misses it by a lot, which is disappointing to me. Mm-hmm. And especially the gameplay. If the combat was fun, I would have beat the game already. Because it was just interesting enough and the art direction was very fun. It was just by the time I hit chapter 4, I was fighting the same enemy over and over and over again.
Yeah. When
I saw it the last time, I was like, I turned it off. I was like, I cannot do a more combat with this guy anymore. And the boss was terrible. And it was just uninspiring. Crap. It sucks. It sucks that, it's definitely lower budget than I thought it was going to be.
Now reel it back in.
Which is commendable for Xbox or Microsoft to put money behind a AA game because it's clearly a AA game with lots of glitches and some problems. I wanted it to be so much better than it actually is. Maybe that's why I'm being so harsh on it. So like you're saying, I am reeling it back a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
I think somebody might like it who's never played a third-person action game before. Like if you played God of War, which the newest God of War, I didn't like that much, but it didn't.
Don't make that comparison.
You're going to be very, very disappointed because it does feel like a PlayStation 2 game. It feels like Sly Cooper or Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. It feels like that type of design.
Okay. Is that it? Yep. That's what you got?
Oh, and I'm also playing Destiny 2.
He's living the old
because
times.
I was like, oh, I want some Bungie. And I play a lot of old games. Play a lot of games. Counter-Strike, still playing. But I wanted to play some Bungie shooties. And I played some multiplayer. And it does work really well with a controller playing against PC guys. So it didn't feel that cheap. It felt like Marathon when it comes out to console and PC. I'm probably sure that they're going to have everybody pulled together. And if it is like Destiny, when it comes to not having too much aim assist and stuff like that, I think it's going to work out.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll find out in September. So we'll be back, full comprehensive review 4 months from now. That's our next episode. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
We will be gone next week because this guy will be out of town, so we won't have an episode. But we'll be back the week after. We'll probably be talking about, I can't remember when Doom comes out, but Doom's around the corner. We're going to be playing Doom here pretty soon.
Yeah, we are. So by the time we come back, the day I come back, it's going to be Claire Obscure.
There you go.
Claire Obscure.
Yeah, Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Oh my God. I'm really interested in that game.
The title's not selling it for me. I'll tell you that.
It's an old school turn-based RPG, so that's why.
Oh my God. Get me out of this prison. All right. We're done. See you guys next week or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Hey, play that lunar game.
Like, follow, and subscribe too.
Yeah, well,
we love you.
Way to say it in the very front
At the very beginning of the episode. See you guys.
See ya.